The Department of Defense Appropriations Act for fiscal year 2024 recommends $831.8 billion. This is an increase of $33.5 billion over last year. I cannot emphasize enough the urgency of the threats that are facing and the importance of funding this bill. Every week, the Defense Subcommittee receives intelligence updates detailing threats to our national security around the globe. China is continuing its global military and economic campaign to undermine the rules-based international order. Russia is embarking on a global misinformation campaign amidst its ongoing war with Ukraine, and terrorist organizations such as ISIS and Al-Qaeda in the Middle East and Africa continue to target us. This bill puts our military on a path to counter these threats, and I would urge bipartisan support. Senator Collins and I conducted a detailed review of the defense budget and have produced a strong bipartisan bill that will provide our military the resources it needs to defeat our enemies and defend this nation now as well into the future. I want to thank Senator Collins and her staff for their collaboration to make this a truly bipartisan bill. The bill takes care of our troops and their families and accelerates the modernization of our military to deal with an increasingly complex national security environment. It fully supports a 5.2% pay raise for our troops, adds $145 million to address recruiting shortfall. Further, the bill fully supports the Department's request to increase our weapons production lines and fill our quivers for future contingencies by supporting multi-year procurement contracts for 9 different types of weapon systems. And finally, the bill accelerates the implementation of the National Defense Strategy by supporting the Department's request to retire old ships and aircraft that can't survive in today's fight, and instead invest in new capabilities such as hypersonic weapons, artificial intelligence, science and technology research. Modernizing our military weapons and fielding new capabilities is absolutely, unequivocally key. We cannot hold on to legacy systems that were designed for a different fight in a different era. Senator Collins and I spent a lot of time this year meeting with our combatant commanders. They are the true tip of the spear, and I'm pleased to recommend additional resources for our combatant commands to deter Chinese aggression and enhance our combat readiness across the globe. National defense begins with homeland defense, as we saw by the brazen Chinese incursion of our sovereign airspace with a spy balloon earlier this year. Our national security begins at home. This bill adds $293.5 million for U.S. Northern Command to prevent this from ever happening again. The men and women who wear our nation's uniform serve selflessly every day to defend our freedoms. All they ask in return is that we give them the tools they need to do their jobs, and this bill does exactly that, and I would ask everyone for their support.